Hi, and welcome to SCW here on YouTube.com, and you may be listening on podcast form as well. This is the NXT Takeover 25 predictions. Going to go through the match card and give my predictions for the show taking place this Saturday in Connecticut. Going to be starting off with Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. A match I'm really looking forward to. It's good to see Roddy Strong in the singles match on the Takeover event. It's been a while since we've seen that. Matt Riddle has been delivering some great matches as well. And we've seen Matt Riddle almost with Johnny Gargano in the rivalry with the Undisputed Era leading up to this Takeover. So this has led to this one-on-one match after Roddy Strong took out Riddle in a backstage segment. Could have even been in a parking lot at the time as well. But looking into the match itself, I'm expecting a solid encounter with these two in the ring. But this for me is a showcase to put Matt Riddle over and put him closer towards the top bracket in NXT. So, and I've got a feeling as well that there could be some more tension in the ranks with the Undisputed Era, which I'll go into more later in this video. But next I'll be looking at the North American Championship, which will involve the Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze. Really liked the altercation on the mic between these two, talking about how Tyler Breeze has failed on the main roster and how Tyler Breeze said that Velveteen isn't wanted on the main roster. So it's some good interaction between these two, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this match can bring. It's great to see Tyler Breeze back in NXT as well. I think that he's far too talented to be a part of the catering club, should I say, on the main roster. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this match can deliver. I think it's a fairly straightforward answer, though. I think the Velveteen Dream is going over here, and I think it's the right move for the Velveteen to remain the North American champion. What I will say, though, is that I expect this to be a really good encounter, and I think that this could be a showcase to put Tyler Breeze back in the conversation of some good matches going forward in NXT. So I think this is going to help both of these guys, but I think the right result here would be the Velveteen Dream to retain the North American Championship. Next, I'm going to look at the NXT Tag Team Championships, which will be won via a ladder match. 4 teams going for the vacant titles. We've got the Street Profits, we've got Oney, Lorgan and Danny Burch, we've got the Forgotten Sons, and we've got 2 members of the Undisputed Era, which will be Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Now, this could be any direction, of course. Now, we know that the Viking Raiders, we know them as the War Raiders really in NXT, have vacated the belts to now go to the catering club on the main roster, although I do think that they will be back on television probably in the next couple of weeks. But looking at the NXT side of things for you on today's video, this could go any way really of these 4 teams. I personally would love to see the Undisputed Era win these championships back. I think they've got the most credibility. I think that Bobby Fish didn't really have a long run with the belts before. It was more Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong that were holding the championship. So I would like to see Bobby Fish have a longer run with the championships. Of course, he was injured the last time he was a champion in NXT with these tag team belts. But again, I'm going back to this. I think that it probably makes sense here for the Undisputed Era on this undercard to not win any of the matches, to just promote a little bit of this tension that we've been seeing build many weeks over TV on NXT. And of course, now the Undisputed Era kind of fulfill themselves as guys that are going to be all champions in 2019, and along with that, they're probably also going to be on the same page again now going forward. The first hiccup here would be them not to win the championship. So to make a prediction, I'm going to go with the Street Profits. So my reasoning for going for these guys is that they're starting to get a bit more TV time again, more creditable TV time, I should say, really. They've been in the tag team title conversation a bit more in 2019 rather than, you know, the guys that would probably go out the first round of the Dusty Tag Team Classic. They seem to have pushed further forward, seem to be more over than ever. I think that Montez Ford is definitely showing himself a lot of charisma and personality, and I think that they're over enough, and it feels like their time for me. I'm not going to forget about the Forgotten Sons. I think their time will come in NXT, and I think they probably would be the first challengers. It does feel like for the first time in a while that the tag team division just seems a little bit thinner in NXT than what it has done. We've had some great teams over the last few years, but of course they haven't gone on so much success on the main roster. So it would be good if these teams now can start to be built up so that they could be creditable when it comes to their turn going to the main main roster. Now, looking at Oney Lorgan and Danny Burch as well before I move on, because I've not really mentioned them too much, I don't see them winning. I just don't see them as tag team champions. Oney Lorgan spending as well time on 205 Live, Danny Burch in NXT UK. I feel it's not too long till these guys go their separate ways, permanently to those brands, and probably won't be featured so much anymore. There could be a chance Danny Burch could end up on 205 Live with Oney Lorcan, should they bring in 205 Tag Team Championships to go with the Singh Brothers and the Lucha House Party. But in the meantime, I don't currently see that, and I do think if both of them was a tag team on the main roster, I think they would be part of that catering club as well. So I don't see them holding the belts, but I do think that this is actually going to be a show-stealing tag team encounter. I think that it definitely will be eyes on the prize, and I think there is a chance here to make a couple of stars in this ladder match. I mean, you only got to remember the last time we had a multi-person ladder match in NXT, which was actually the North American Championship in New Orleans at the Takeover last year. That was nearly an hour long, that match, and was absolutely spectacular. So I'm hoping these guys can put on a similar kind of match here, but we'll have to wait and see. I do think it'll be an exciting encounter when it comes around to Takeover. Next, then we'll look at the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler going to be defending against Io Shirai. Now, I'm starting to wonder how much longer it's going to be till Shayna is put on the main roster, because, I mean, it was a shock to many when she actually retained at the last Takeover on WrestleMania weekend, and I just started to wonder as myself, who actually can beat Shayna and actually send her packing? It feels to me like we are starting to lose a lot of credible challengers. Now, many might say Bianca Belair, she'll get her time. She's still too green for me. I'm one of them people that kind of actually agrees with Sam Roberts. I don't think she's quite there yet. She's got the gimmick down, but I'm still not a fan actually of the undefeated. You have lost matches, so I would drop that little tagline. But the rest of it with the attitude and stuff, I am feeling that. I just think she's still a little bit green in work. In-ring work style for me. Mia Yim, a great competitor, but again, I don't think she's been built up well enough. I actually think it might be time to bring up a couple of those NXT UK women actually to the NXT roster. I mean, Rhea Ripley would be a much creditable challenger for someone like Shayna Baszler or Io Shirai that come out of this encounter of Takeover at the moment. I think that she would be a standout in the future of WWE, let alone just the NXT divisions. But look, going back to the match at hand right now, I do think that this is the match I've been looking forward to since Io Shirai came into the NXT roster. I thought that this was going to be the WrestleMania weekend one if you'd have asked me 6 months ago. So to see on this Takeover, I'm very much looking forward to it. And I do think Io Shirai is going to pull out the win here. I'm not sure if it's the last we'll see of Shayna Baszler. I think perhaps maybe this may go one more Takeover to SummerSlam, where maybe then Io Shirai would retain again, and then Shayna may go to the main roster. I think that would be the most logical way I would book it. So for that to start taking place, we need the title change, and I think Io Shirai will win the belt here at NXT Takeover 25. I think it will be a great spectacle and a great place for that title change. Last but certainly not least, then, the NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano going to be defending against Adam Cole, baby. I'm expecting another great encounter. A superb 2 out of 3 falls match last time. It does make you wonder, as we only have one fall this time, if it's is not billed as big a match as last time, but of course you could argue that the reason they're doing this is because Adam Cole won the first fall last time. If it was one fall match last time, Adam Cole would be the NXT champion. Well, it's one fall this time, so it feels interesting to me how they're going to book this. For me, I look at it and say, to give the early prediction, I feel Johnny Gargano is going to retain. It's too soon for him to drop the belt, and I think that he is just sort of he's in early stages of the champion. It feels there's a lot more mileage left in that. As much as I would like to see Adam Cole as the champion and thought he should have won the belt at the last Takeover, the fact that he didn't makes me think that they've been teasing this breakup with the Undisputed Era, which I think would be a big mistake, but at the same time I feel that they are going to probably go back to that storyline following this Takeover. So the question is that either Adam Cole demands that he does this alone, because he always seems to be successful when he's alone. He made himself the part of the championship match, winning a fatal 5-way without any help. Once he got help in the championship match at Takeover, he lost the match, and Roderick Strong has arguably cost Adam Cole a couple of matches. So it makes you wonder if Undisputed Era will probably cost Adam Cole, either intentionally, either if it's done accidentally to cause a proper problem, or if Adam Cole simply just isn't good enough and then blames the Undisputed Era. I wouldn't actually even be surprised if a breakup takes place during the end of Takeover, because they love a good cliffhanger. They love something just to keep the crowd guessing of what's going to happen when we go to the next set of tapings, get you excited for those new tapings. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Undisputed Era breakup. I don't want it to happen. I think that these guys are strength in numbers, especially when it comes to future in the main roster. I think that these guys need to be together to make a successful go of it. But of course, whatever happens in NXT, it doesn't really matter on the main roster. They could all break up here and then come up to the main roster and all be together at a later date. So we'll take NXT for NXT for right now, and I predict that there could be a breakup coming up on this TakeOver 25. We'll have to wait and see. But before I wrap this up, just to quickly go back there, if the Undisputed Era was to turn on Adam Cole, I do wonder if there would be a new leader or if it would simply be just the three guys. But if there was to be a new leader, it'd be very interesting to see who they would put in that place. Certainly be interesting as well. I mean, if it was someone that was a face that would turn heel or perhaps even otherwise. But I'm going to leave that open in the comment section below if you would see a potential breakup or someone turning on maybe Adam Cole and the other three would have stayed together as the Undisputed Era, or if they were to get a new leader, who you'd like to see as the new leader of the Undisputed Era instead of Adam Cole, and how he would cope either as a babyface or as a solo act afterwards in NXT and perhaps even moving forward in WWE. But that's my predictions for you right there. Let me know your predictions for NXT TakeOver 25 in the predictions section right now. Like, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube, SCW The Wrestling Channel, do subscribe, and if you are on listening in podcast form, please follow, of course, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and some others as well. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time here on YouTube. This is SCW The Wrestling Channel.